Have you gotten that feeling yet? The one that you're doing something maybe with your husband, with your family, and you're having a great time. You find yourself laughing, feeling joy again, and then you just stop and you go, I'm not supposed to be happy right now. I'm in a fair recovery. What's going on? Why am I happy? And then suddenly you climb back into your sad place. You leave the room. You refuse to have a good time. It does not feel comfortable to have a good time right now. Have you had that happen? Yeah. It's like that question, when is it okay? When is it okay to move beyond the affair? When do you know it's safe to do that? I'll explore that in just a minute, so stay tuned. All right, so I went through this. Um, I I felt like I almost had to keep the affair right here because for two reasons. One was I felt like I needed to carry it almost like a badge. You know, you hurt me, you did this to me, so he could see my pain because I wanted him. This is the other side of it. I wanted him to constantly stay in that pain with me. Because I was afraid if he didn't, then he would stop doing the things, you know, the things to help me feel safe. And he would stop doing the sweet things. He would stop saying he was sorry. And I felt like I needed to continue to hear him say he was sorry. So I disallow myself to lean in and feel like I'm okay now. I'm ready to move forward. I wouldn't allow myself to move forward. I wanted to stay in the affair because that was actually felt safer for me than moving forward. Because what if I move forward and he stops doing the work? What if he regresses? What if he thinks I'm okay and then starts turning off his location on his phone and stops telling me where he's going? And what if he thinks, well, she's okay now, so now I don't have to be nice, or I don't have to get her flowers, or I don't have to, whatever. I get it. The underlining thing there is called fear. We're scared, y'all. We're scared to death. And I get it. I remember that fear. Um, a lot of this is also due to our lack of control. We feel out of control. Nobody likes to feel like they don't have control over any given situation. And when we find out about the affair, that's like the ultimate rug snatched out from under you scenario where you thought you had a grip on things, and oh, did you not have a grip on things, right? So we desperately try to regain control. And this is why sometimes instead of creating boundaries, we start trying to control him. This is when we, use tactics such as shaming him to control his behavior, or guilting him into controlling his behavior, because we're scared. We don't trust that they will start making good behavioral choices because they made the worst behavioral choice on the planet. So we just kind of go crazy with it, right? So that being the case, how do we even start to step forward away from the affair and into a future with our husband when we're scared to death and we're more comfortable being in this state of fear and grief? I mean, it's hard. It's a hard balance because taking that step away from the affair and trying to move beyond the affair is called acceptance. That's the last stage of our grief. And of course, again, I want to reiterate, grief is not linear. So the grief is going to rear its head again, off and on. But once we accept, and acceptance doesn't mean that we're okay with it. Acceptance means that we're like, yep, it happened. It happened. I cannot change it. He cannot change it. But I am committed to changing things from here on out, and so is he. Therefore, I'm ready to move forward. That is acceptance. Now, you may or may not be there, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you're asking yourself the question because you'd like to not be in that spot anymore, if you'd like to start moving forward, let's say, you're ready to get beyond the affair, but it's terrifying. It's terrifying. And you don't know how. Let me first encourage you to consider, kind of start picturing what down the road looks like. And I get it. If you're early in affair recovery, that's going to be super hard for you to do because right now everything's kind of blurry in your future. But if you've been in recovery for a while, you probably have started thinking of future things, future vacations, future celebrations, retirement, whatever it may be. Looking down the road, you can actually start to see things again with him. Start picturing that. And imagine moving forward is taking yourself closer to those moments. You're working your way towards that good thing that you can imagine in your mind. You know what I mean? Now, the question for this video really is when is it safe to do this? Well, if you have a hard time imagining that future because your spouse is not doing his part, if he's being secretive, or if you've had multiple D-days, things like that, this is going to take you a little bit longer to do. Maybe it's not safe to do that yet. Moving forward and coming to acceptance is something you're going to need to do at some point. You don't have to do it today, but you need to do it at some point. Otherwise, you're going to carry the heaviest load of grief around with you forever. Grief doesn't go away, by the way, but the heaviest load of it we end up putting down when we get to acceptance. So I guess my question for any of you watching this, if you want to know when is it safe to move forward, my question for you is, well, do you feel safe? Do you feel safe? Is he, doing the things? Is he supporting you? Is he remorseful? Have you been working on your own boundaries? Have you created safety for yourself? If you're starting to say, yeah, I think I do, then it's safe to move forward. The question for you at that point is, are you going to make that choice? It's a choice to move forward. It's a choice. It's not something that happens naturally. You actually start intentionally taking steps forward in your own life, in your marriage, in decisions that you've been holding off on because of the affair, whatever it may be. You start making those decisions, but eventually you realize it's safe to do so. That would be my answer to the question of when is it safe to move forward? Do you feel safe? Do you? If you don't feel safe, what does he need to do to help you feel safe? There isn't really a time limit, my friend. I know if all of us had our druthers, we would be able to deal with this in a week and move on, right? That's not how the heart works, and that's certainly not how our minds work. Things are very complicated. We have a lot to deal with between grief and trauma, all of it. So you can't rush this. So if you are at the place where you can't say you're safe, don't stress out. It's okay. You're just not there yet. All right? You're just not there yet. But when you are, then you're ready to start taking those steps forward. Now, there are some people, and myself, I'll put myself in that category. I actually did move forward when I still didn't feel 100% safe. And I think that's a valid option as well. Just, it's about a choice. Making that determination that you're ready to move forward and away from the affair. If you want to get to the other side of this, and I just did a video on what it looks like on the other side, you need to take this step. But it's okay if it takes you 5 years, 10 years. Just get it done. Okay? Nobody's rushing you. Nobody's got a stopwatch going, oh, what's she going to do? So that would be my answer to the question. When you feel safe, make your choice, begin to move forward. Moving forward for me, like I said, I kind of did it simultaneously with my healing. I had multiple D-days, had a lot of stuff go on back and forth. So the reality is sometimes things don't go as planned. I was separated twice. When I thought I was safe, I wasn't safe. I mean, I had it all. I know how you feel. Um, but I still managed to get to the other side. So there's always hope. So if you're thinking about moving forward and you don't really know how, I would love an opportunity to help you with that. So if you're looking for a coach, someone to coach you through this process, I would love an opportunity to talk to you. Below this video, you'll see some links, one of which is to my calendar to make an appointment to visit with me. It's a 1-hour free consultation, and you and I can talk about how to get you where you want to be. You're ready to move forward, but you're scared. Let's deal with your fear. I can help you get there. So make that appointment if you're interested in a coach. And remember, okay, one small step at a time, but it's always your decision as to when and how you move beyond the affair.